So, our today's topic is politics of diversity, religious communities, and multiple patriarchies. This article is written by Kumkum Sangri. First heading is Overlapping Patriarchies and a Common Politics. Ideology of religion favors the patriarchy. The ideas of a religion are always somewhat discriminating to women, whether it is regarding Muslims, Hindus, Christians, or any other religion. For example, you will always see a man as the priest of a temple and as a father of the church, and the worst is the situation when you are not even allowed to see a god, which is considered as the one who created you, and the reason behind not allowing you is that you will make the holy god unready. Such type of illogical logics have been triggered by us, the women, on daily basis. Then we have religion and patriarchy are complementary to each other. The religious book, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all have a male god, and scriptures and histories of interpreting those scriptures which are patriarchal. They also have scriptures and traditions of interpretation which unpick patriarchy and honor women as equals, leaders, and full persons. But the dominant theme is patriarchal. The Anglican Book of Common Prayer Service for Holy Matrimony, which was in required use among Anglicans until the 1970s, required the bride to promise to obey her husband, reflecting the fact that until the 19th century the bride was handed to the groom by her father as a chattel owned by one man and then another man. Next we have that patriarchies function in three ways. The first one is systematic. The patriarchal society from the very beginning have established a system which oppress women, and men are identified as the oppressors hiding in the suit of their protectors. Second one is shared. The belief of patriarchy is present everywhere you go or any part of the world. It shares its ideas of having control over women and showing man as always an individual who is brave and strong. Over the years and with each and every religion, caste, country, or wherever you go, this belief follows you everywhere. The third one is differential. And now is the very common thing, that how patriarchy never promotes equality, and the whole system of it is based on only differences that we human beings have. It follows the idea that women are weak because they are different from man biologically. The fourth one is types of oppression and patriarchy. There are different types of oppression that we face. Some of them are domestic violence, mentally torturing, body shaming, racial oppression, sexual oppression. These are some of the common types of oppression that are going from the years and years. So, the types of oppression that we saw earlier differ from country to country or state to state. And the cause behind this is not the cultural diversity. The cause behind it is the due to differences in patriarchy. The practice of patriarchy differs from region to region. Like in India, women are quite free as compared to Arabic countries, and while in some of the countries women don't even have right to vote. So the ideology of patriarchy works everywhere, but with different rules and regulations. So next we have patriarchy divides women and unite men. So the very famous phrase, women are the worst enemy of a woman. So this very famous phrase that you people can see here is going on from so many years. And even we don't have any ideas why is it said so. This is fitted or planted in our minds from the very beginning that you should hate your own gender, and it is here just to divide us. It has nothing to do with our nature, behavior, or any other factor that you go for before making a bond with a person. Even males spend their lives in the group where they were born into, whereas females live at adolescence. As a result, males in a group are more closely related to each other than the females. Next, we have patriarchy decides the structures of a community. A patriarchal society consists of a male-dominated power structure throughout organized society and in individual relationships. Power is related to privilege. In a system in which men have more power than women, men have some level of privilege to which women are not entitled. In every religion, men are given more importance, as in Hinduism, all the priests in the temples are all men, and in Islam, all the Islamic cleric is always a man. So, what I mean to say here is that in each and every community, we can see that the topmost authority is associated with the men only. And as we live in India and much familiar with the culture here only, I would like to discuss one more point, that in India we have Shankaracharya, which is commonly used title of heads of the monasteries called mathas in the Advaita Vedanta tradition of Hindu Dharma, and these are only few in numbers and they were also males. And at present there are two Shankaracharyas and they are also males still in this era. Next we have Huh. So the question here arises that what if this religion disappears? Will that solve all our problems? So the answer to this is unfortunately no, because there are a lot of other factors involved in it. So we will be discussing some of them. So first one is property was passed down the male line and the female autonomy was always eroded. The second one is our culture promotes patriarchies where men are more likely than women to hold positions of social, economic, and political power. Males also spend their lives in the group they were born into, whereas females live at adolescence. As a result, males in a group are more closely related to each other than the females. Next, we have towards new common law. Common law refers to Common law is a body of unwritten laws based on legal precedents established by the courts. So the first issue is issue of custom versus law. In Sunni law, the only valid marriage women could contract was with Muslims, even though men could contract a valid marriage with a Christian or Jew. The explanation offered is that there would be a likelihood of the wife being converted to her husband's faith, but there could be no apprehension of the husband adopting the faith of his Christian or Jewish wife. The ideology of protection in 19th century English law classified married women as non-subjects, people who are unable to determine and act on their own interests. This is how our laws work. So next we have legal change could be envisaged in such a way that women do not lose what they have but only gain what they do not have. For example, now we know that woman can have share in her family's property if she wants. But here is one side that we are ignoring. Can you yourself ask for a share in the property? And will you be able to stand strong in the court if they don't provide you share in the property? Your family will be having arguments against you, like what kind of a daughter you are. We have invested so much in your education and well-being, or they will be simply cut out their all relations after marriage. So next we have new laws would have to move in three directions: encourage religious diversity, establish inalienable rights for all women, as well as find ways of dealing with the diversity of patriarchies. Next we have legal options then would be based precisely on those various factors that make patriarchies different from each other, that is, treating difference not as something to be added but omnipresent from the very beginning in any attempt to grasp the dialectics of social change and aspects of social organ that governs gender relations. Next we have if common laws are to be based on understanding of multiple patriarchies, then there should be dual principle that is suggested by Kumkum Sangri. Principle of access to inalienable rights that are the same for all women and have same horizon. For instance, women's lack of inalienable legal rights to residence in the Hindu personal law can build a pressure on women to marry, to not divorce, or dependence on brothers that also involves the trend or custom of foregoing property rights. Second one is differing particularist legislations responding to diverse patriarchal arrangements, all of which would neither apply to not be needed by all women. Thanks all the people for watching and giving your precious time. Take your coffee or tea and enjoy your life. Bye bye.